Hello, my name is Caroline Patton, and today I'm going to be giving you a brief overview of Shakespearean sonnets. These are also known as English sonnets. All right, so what is a sonnet? A sonnet is a poem that consists of 14 lines. It has a very structured rhyme scheme. It's split into three quatrains. The third quatrain usually marks a shift in the mood, and it ends in a couplet, which is 2 lines. The Shakespearean sonnets are usually in iambic pentameter, which we will discuss further in this lesson. All right, so the first thing we're going to discuss is the rhyme scheme. I have listed on the side the rhyme scheme. It goes A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, G, G. So as you will see, day rhymes with May, temperate rhymes with date. Not really the way we say it now, but back in Shakespeare's time, it rhymed a whole lot better. We have shines and declines, dimmed, untrimmed, fade, shade, owest, growest, and see and thee. The last 2 lines are always going to rhyme right next to each other, whereas the other in the quatrains, the rhyme switches in between. So you have the A B rhyme scheme. All right, so on to quatrains and couplets. I have marked where the quatrains are in the poem and where the couplet is. Now, quatrains are 4 lines or a stanza, and the third one usually marks the change in the mood of the poem. So in this particular poem, I have highlighted where the mood changes. In the first 2 quatrains, Shakespeare is setting up this description of a person that reminds him, or what beautiful thing can he compare this person to? And he goes through a list, a catalog of these different things. It could be a summer's day, but summer can be hot, and summer often, it turns into fall. So in our third quatrain, or where we have the volta, or the mood change, he explains that instead of comparing this person in this poem to something that fades, he's going to put this person's beauty in the form of a poem, because that is forever. And no matter what happens, this poem will always be there. So that's what the mood shift is in this particular sonnet. All right, on to iambic pentameter. So this is how the poem is to sound. A meter in poetry is the rhythm of a piece of poetry. And you have feet, and those are the syllables, so the actual syllables in the word. And the syllables are either stressed or unstressed. And then iamb, it's one unstressed syllable and one stressed syllable. And then, of course, penta means 5. So when you put it all together, iambic pentameter is 5 feet of one unstressed and one stressed syllable. Iambic pentameter, when you speak it, is supposed to sound like a human heartbeat. So bum bum, bum bum, bum bum, bum bum. That's the idea behind iambic pentameter. It's supposed to be a natural rhythm. So I took the couplet from Sonnet 18, and here is the syllables marked, unstressed, and stressed. So when you read it out loud, it sounds like, so long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long lives this, and this gives life to thee. Now this one is easy to hear, the iambic pentameter, the unstressed and stressed syllables, because all the words are one syllable. When you have words that have multiple syllables, it gets a little bit more difficult to hear, but Shakespeare wrote most of his plays in iambic pentameter. So, like the prologue to Romeo and Juliet, the two households both alike in dignity. That's one where you can hear, if a word has multiple syllables, what it sounds like in iambic pentameter. So the reason why this is so important, Shakespeare wrote 154 of these sonnets. Most of them, the first sonnets he wrote, they were about this obsessional love. And then the last few sonnets, he starts thinking more about like death and existential crisis type things. What is so fun about a sonnet is that, I won't say it's easier, but when you write a free-form poem, you have no restrictions. You could write the poem however you want. You can use capital letters, not capital letters, like E. E. Cummings. You can write as many lines as you want. You can make it a 4-page poem. It could be an epic poem. But these sonnets, you are pigeonholed, I guess, or you are restricted to these 14 lines with this strict rhyming scheme. And it's fun to see how creative you can be within these parameters, within these rules. And that's why it's amazing that Shakespeare wrote 154 of these with such a structured theme. All right, I hope that was informative about Shakespearean sonnets, and I hope you learned a whole lot more today about them. Thank you.